Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on.
So heavy.
Fly me to the moon.
I know that this was coming out. I'd seen the trailers and stuff for this, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought this looked solid enough. I thought it looks like a pretty entertaining movie. Um, and so, yeah, this film came out there last weekend as of me recording this review. I went to go and see it there last weekend, and having seen the film for myself, what do I think? In my opinion, well, I don't think this is a great movie or anything. I overall thought this was a solid enough movie, and I had a pretty good time with it. So getting further into my thoughts on this film, so starting things off, the cinematography in this movie is actually very good in my opinion. Um, like, it's actually a very well shot movie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there actually is some like genuinely very good shots in this film. And uh, it's definitely a very like visually pleasing film to look at. Like seeing all these like shots of like the NASA headquarters, and even kind of some like stylistic shots that they do throughout the movie. It actually looks genuinely pretty good. Um, yeah, honestly, I think the cinematography in the film is actually quite good. It's genuinely impressive, and overall, it does make for, as I said, a very visually pleasing movie. The editing in this film, I think, is actually very good as well. I'm not gonna lie, the way that this movie is edited is actually done really well. I'm not gonna lie, there actually is some genuinely pretty impressive editing in this film. That kind of adds to, how good the cinematography is, and there'll be times throughout the movie where we'll kind of see shots like alongside kind of like other shots, and it's kind of comparing with like certain things going on, and like not to mention there's even some kind of really like stylistic choices that they do with the editing, which I think definitely helps give like a bit of life to the movie, helps kind of give it a fair amount of style. Yeah, so honestly, I think the editing in this film is actually very good. Now, in terms of the pace in this film, I'm gonna be honest, the pace in this film is something that I took a bit of issue with. Now, this film has a long enough runtime of 2 hours and 11 minutes, so you know, it's a fairly long enough movie, but honestly, I think this movie actually did feel pretty long, even for that runtime, which, you know, I don't mind doing a good long film, but I don't know, with this movie, it just felt a bit too long in my opinion. Like, there was honestly a fair few times during the movie where I honestly kind of felt it dragged a bit, like, especially during the film's third act. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I actually felt that third act dragged quite a bit. It actually did feel genuinely quite long. And in terms of the actual like pacing in the movie, I feel like just certain aspects could have been paced a bit better. Like I don't know, I just feel like certain plot points could have had a bit of a better build up. But yeah, overall, I don't think the film's pacing was very good. I do think the pacing in this movie could have been a bit better. Now, in terms of the sound and music in this film, you know, there are some genuinely good sound effects in this, like, you know, when we have, like, the space just kind of blasts off, you have, like, all these sound effects, like, when they're kind of working on the fake moon landing and stuff. Overall, I would say it is pretty well done. I think overall the movie has quite a good score. Like, it helps go with the movie really well, and they match the respective scenes well enough. And like, we have a fair few music numbers in this movie from like around the time period that the film is set, and also I think they overall fit the movie well enough. So yeah, overall I would say that the sound and music in this movie was quite good. Now, as for the characters and the performances from the cast, starting things off with our main protagonist in this film, Kelly Jones, and like, she's basically this marketing specialist who is basically like brilliant at her job, and of course she's the one who gets hired by NASA to, you know, be in charge of like the marketing for the moon landing. Yeah, honestly, I actually quite liked Kelly as a character. Like, I thought the film did a very good job with establishing her character, with, you know, how like brilliant she is with the whole like marketing thing and stuff. And honestly, I think she actually makes for quite an entertaining protagonist. Like, we do slowly start to learn some more things about her character as the movie goes on, and like there's a bit of a twist with her character, alright, during the film start, actually, I will say, and honestly, I think the movie could have done a better job of, building up to that twist. But that aside, Kelly was a good character, and honestly, I think Scarlett Johansson actually gave a very good performance here. I thought she fit this character really well. I thought she played this role very well. So, yeah, honestly, I really liked Kelly as a character. Then we have the film's other protagonist, Cole Davis, the flight director, I think. I honestly thought he was a good enough character as well. I thought he has like a good role in the movie. And I thought overall he was a likable enough character. While I found he was the lesser good of the two protagonists, I still thought overall he was a decent character in his own right. I thought overall, Channing Tatum, he did a good enough performance for what he was given. And I thought overall he had solid chemistry with Scarlett Johansson. Now, I'll admit, I feel like maybe their chemistry could have been a bit better, to be honest, but they had solid enough chemistry for what they were given. Yeah, now, I won't get too much into all of the supporting characters, but what I will say is all of the supporting characters are solid enough for like the amount of screen time and focus that they get. And yeah, all the supporting casts overall do good enough for what they're given. You have Jim Rash in this, who was basically hired by Kelly as like this director, was like going to be directing the fake moon landing, and honestly I thought he was a pretty entertaining character. Like Jim Rash, he had a lot of fun in this role. We have Ray Romano here in a supporting role as well. He's kind of shown to be working with Cole. I thought overall he did very good for what he was given, but out of the entire supporting cast, I think the standout by far is definitely Woody Harrelson. He has a role in this as like this shady government agent who's basically the one who hires Kelly, and he's basically the one who basically gives her the order to create this fake moon landing. And honestly, Woody did a good job here, job of displaying the whole kind of shadiness of his character. And plus, not to mention, at the same time, he actually has a bit of fun here as well. Honestly, I liked him in this role. Yeah, so overall, I think the characters are quite good, and along with that, I think the performances are very good here as well, with, for me, the standouts being Scarlett Johansson and Woody Harrelson. So overall, good characters and good performances. So in terms of the plot of the movie, now the film, it has an interesting concept, basically being set around the time of the space race, like in the build up to NASA sending the first men to the moon, and obviously the film is based off of that really famous conspiracy theory that the moon landing was faked. Now just to quickly give like my thoughts on the theory. Yeah, we went to the moon. We definitely went to the moon. End of story. But nonetheless, the film has like a fun concept of kind of showing like a fictional like retelling of like the whole builds up to the first man on the moon, but taking inspiration from the conspiracy theory. And honestly, the movie definitely has a good bit of fun with it. Like but the film also heavily focuses on like kind of the whole marketing aspect of space race and stuff. And I honestly do really like that this movie gives a lot of attention to that, because like the marketing side of the whole thing is something which I feel like has never really gotten the amount of praise that it deserves, because it really kind of helps get people interested in like the whole thing. And yeah, the movie does like shine a light on all of that. It's not really certain who was kind of like involved with the whole kind of marketing for the Apollo moon landing. Like the film, it does a good job of kind of creating this whole fictional story, and honestly really having an amount of fun with it. And although it definitely does focus on like all these different kind of aspects of it, ultimately I think it all like fits together well enough to where you're not really getting too lost, so you're able to keep up with the story. And the plot could have been a bit better, as I said. The pacing in this movie wasn't great, and another big issue I have with this film is that I felt at times there was quite a bit of tonal whiplash. Because like the film kind of has like a bit of like a comedic, like satirical tone for a lot of it, but then at times there'll be certain points where the film will kind of have a bit more of a serious tone during kind of some of the more serious scenes in the movie. And honestly, I feel like the film's kind of done a better job with that whole aspect, because some of these more kind of serious moments don't really kind of get the proper builds up. But honestly, other than that, the film did a solid job with everything. So despite some issues, I think the plot of the movie overall is pretty good. In terms of the film's narrative structure now, as I've said, there's a lot going on in the film, because the movie's based off the Apollo moon landing. And as I said, a lot of the runtime is dedicated to the marketing side and getting people interested in it. Yeah, I do really like that whole aspect of the plot. Now, the whole aspect with the actual like fake moon landing, that actually doesn't come into the movie until a bit into it. When the movie does eventually get to that point, even if it is based off of like a real crazy conspiracy theory, that aspect of the plot is genuinely quite fun. Movie overall does like a very good job with it, and making it entertaining. Of course, we also have a bit of a romance subplot. It's solid enough romance. I feel like the movie could have done a better job at kind of making me care a bit more about it. And while Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum overall had good enough chemistry, I just feel like there just could have been a bit more to that. But that aside, overall, I thought that aspect of the plot was okay. But overall, I think the narrative structure in this movie is pretty good, despite there's the fact that there's a lot going on in the film. Overall, I think everything is all kind of put together very well, and it does enough to, keep you going and you're not getting lost in it. So overall, I think the movie did a good job with this. Overall, Fly Me to the Moon was a pretty good movie in my opinion. It had good cinematography, there was good editing, there was some good performances, especially from Scarlett Johansson and Woody Harrelson. Even though the movie is based off of a crazy conspiracy theory, it does well with the whole plot, being entertaining. There actually is some pretty funny humor in here, and yeah, overall, despite the fact that there's a lot going on here, the movie does a good job of making it all feel connected to where you're not getting lost with it. Now, I don't think it's a great movie in my opinion. As I said, I think the pacing could have been better, and yeah, I just feel like the movie could have done better when it came to shifting its tone at certain points. But overall, with all that aside, it's a fun movie. If it seems like you'll be interested in it, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, overall, despite some issues, I liked it overall. I had a fun time. So with that, I'm going to give Fly Me to the Moon a 7 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.